Welcome to West Country Wanderings and welcome to another one of my canal series. I've had to change the title of this one. This is another than the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal series, although these sections I'm showing you today aren't restored. We're here at Newent. Behind me is Newent Lake, which was opened by, I think it was by the Duke of Gloucester in 1998, about 24 years ago now. Beautiful section for wildlife just outside the town centre here in the western part of Gloucestershire. We're some 10 miles to the north of Gloucester and about 8 miles to the south of the Herefordshire town of Ledbury. And Ledbury, of course, was where initially the canal from Gloucester heading towards Hereford went. They built the Ledbury section first. And Newent was an important point on the staging point, if you like, for the canal after it left over and it came here to Newent before heading on to Ledbury. And of course, the original plan of the canal owners was to tap into the agricultural community in terms of things like livestock and feeds and seeds and grain to transport that on the canal. Sadly, those plans never materialised, and the canal, as we know, was bought by the railway company, which then built a railway over it from Gloucester through Newent and up to Ledbury. They didn't use the Ledbury to Hereford section. We have covered part of that in previous videos, and I'll put links to those below. So what I first look at here today in the town of Newent, have a quick look around the park, show a bit of that, and then we're going to head over to the site of the former Newent railway station. And of course, that was once where the canal ran through as well, and then it was converted to the Newent railway station site. Anyway, after that, we're going to head over to Malswick and then have a look at the former lock at a place called Maismore, which had a weir there. And because it had a weir on the River Severn, that's why they needed to get a lock through and put it in there to slice off that part of the River Severn to make it navigable for barges and boats heading down the Severn to enter the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal. So why not join me on another canal tour here in Newent and the surrounding areas. Before we head over to the former site of Newent railway station, just tell you some key dates. It opened in July 1885 when the Newent railway and the Ross and Ledbury railway, that's a mouthful, isn't it? They combined forces, they joined their railway lines at Newent, thus opening the line between Ledbury and Gloucester. And that's when the station opened here. It had a passing loop through. It was a single track line, but it had a passing loop through the station. So it had 2 platforms, as we'll see. It also had a large goods yard. Now that's quite an industrial site. There's a skip hire business there and various other light engineering businesses. It's not the prettiest of areas. That's why I've done the opening shot here. It's also quite noisy, so that's the reason for that. Also, it closed for passengers in 1959, and it completely closed by obviously what was then GWR in 1964. Well, I've just come here to the former Newent railway station. These are the platforms, and this site is now owned by the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal Trust. Now, they did have an ambitious plan to put the canal directly through these former platforms, which would be fantastic. In fact, there still remains the abutments of the railway bridge, which carries it over the main road that goes between Gloucester and Leominster. But that's too an ambitious plan. It would need lots of engineering challenges, not least of which the canal bed needs to be some 3 or 4 metres below the surface of these platforms, making it really tricky to get across the road there and have some kind of aqueduct. So they're formulating a new plan for that. As I say, they do own the site here, but it hasn't yet been restored. But we'll have a closer look anyway. Down here, part of the original foundations of the platform bed have been exposed. You can see that wood there and the red sandstone brick that surrounds it. Yeah, that's been exposed because of the elements here. The station closed in the 1960s. I'll put the exact date below there. And sadly, the station building was long demolished. I think it was demolished back in the early 1970s. Now, I'm not actually sure what the new plan is to get around Newent station and obviously the drop below the platform level. Whether there's plans to go either that way, though there is a bit of a drop in that way, there's woodland there, and I believe the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal Trust own that as well. Unfortunately, the other side on that platform, on that side, there is a scrap metal dealer. There's also other industries as well, and there's like a narrow bit of lane, single track lane. It's quite difficult to park here. I wouldn't suggest parking here, also because of the debris left from skips that come up to the skip hire company. It's probably better to park just on the other side of the old railway bridge, and there's a little turning on the right, and just be able to park yourself in there. But watch the road getting across that busy road between Gloucester and Leamington, because it's very, very busy and lots of lorries use it. So take care if you're coming here to visit the site here at the former Newent railway station on the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal. So the abutments of the railway bridge are just behind me here. You can see brick pillar that side and one that side, and the railway went right across. I believe the canal went on a lower level, perhaps on a level. In fact, it was level, and then there was probably a wooden bridge, and this road would have been a lot quieter in those days, which then took the road across the canal. Of course, that makes re-engineering canal back through here quite tricky. So that way down there is the direction of Ledbury and Hereford, and the other direction is the direction of Gloucester, some 12 miles to the south of here. Now, originally, of course, this was a canal, and the canal company was bought by the railway company, who then replaced it, putting the railway in place for a lot of the section between south of Ledbury down towards Gloucester. Although nothing has been restored here at this section yet, there is a lot of work just south of Newent at a place called Malswick, and we're going to have a look at that next. Now, excuse the road noise, got the main road going in from Newent towards Gloucester. That there is the former route of both our canal, the Hereford to Gloucester Canal, the Herefordshire Gloucestershire Canal Trust, own this site here at Malswick. And of course, this was the route at the railway as well. And it just went through here, round the back of the Malswick House Inn. And then there's also a playing field, and they've been restoring either side of the Malswick House Inn through the Waterways Recovery Group recently over the summer period. It is on private land, so I don't know how much more we're going to be able to see of it here. This site's been cleared at this section. I'm going to go over that way, the other side of Malswick House, and then I can walk by the road and see what we can see at the other end too. There's the Malswick House Inn there just behind me, and the railway and the canal would have come on a curve. Still a bit of an embankment here. Of course, the road has been widened since both the railway and the canal were here. Similar to what we've seen in Newent, we've got a former railway bridge here, and this is the route of the canal as well, but the canal would have been on a lower level, parallel on the same level across it to the road there. Not sure how they would have got through across this lane here with the canal. Again, I apologise for the noise in this particular vicinity of the road, etc., and I apologise for that. Every time I hit the button, that cutting machinery, whatever it was, somebody cutting a hedge, just fired up. I tried it 5 times, but I'm sorry, I just had to live with how it is. I couldn't get any better than that, I'm sorry. Got a post here, and obviously that's from the remnants of the railway days, and here, this is the section that's been cleared all the way down to Malswick House, which is obviously a public house. We're going to continue along the road and see what we can. The other section that's been cleared here over the summer period by the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Trust and the WRG. So this here is private land at Malswick, but over the summer period, during June, July and August, there was a WRG working party working in conjunction with H&G Trust, and they've done a lot of work. And it looks like they're building a new road in there. It's not a new road. That is going to be the bed of the canal. Restored section. I can't remember what number that'll be. Restored section of the H&G Canal here at Malswick. Carries on down here, behind the back of that oak tree there, just behind my head. And there's another oak tree over there, and it continues in that direction, I think, for about another quarter of a mile. And you can actually see a lot of the soil that's been removed in digging out the canal bed here at Malswick, just outside the town of Newent. I've just walked up a bit further up the very busy road opposite the dog grooming services. Now this is the main entrance to the Malswick site, and there is a QR code. I've taken a photograph of that, and I'll also put a link in directly to takes you to the section about Malswick on the H&G website. A lot of work's been taking place here, and you can see obviously they've still got the diggers here. They've got a couple of porter cabins over there as well, so lots of activity here at Malswick. But I say, must emphasise, it is private access. I don't know when it'll become public and be able to walk up along the towpath here. No idea. For anybody that is watching this from the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal Trust does know this information when it'll become public access for walking along the towpath, please drop a comment below, because other viewers will be delighted to hear from you. And I just at this point like to thank you all very much for your hard work, the WRG group and the H&G Canal Trust volunteers for all the work they've done here over the summer period. Now that over there is Maismore Weir. This is the River Severn. Yeah, be familiar with that. And you're probably thinking, well, I probably could have covered this on the Severn Way. Well, actually, we won't be coming through this way because this is the west channel of the Severn Way. Just a bit north of here, we come to what is known as the North Parting, the West Parting, and where the west channel diverges, the east channel makes a more direct route down to the city of Gloucester, and that is the way that the Severn Way follows. And it was because of this weir that the engineers building the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal needed to make a cut through. It's not quite visible from this location. I'll just see if I can get a better view of it. Just behind me, I'll just move out the way, and I'll do a better position of it from a different angle. There is a cottage, and that cottage lies on its own land. It's kind of like a separate island surrounded by water. The other part of that water, of course, was part of the lock of Maismore Lock, which was on the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal, and that was the lockkeeper's cottage that operated that lock. Now there won't be any plans to restore this part of the canal. It won't come under the restoration scheme between Hereford and Gloucester because it's not part of the direct route. In fact, most boats go down the other channel. You can't get down here through the weir. They go on the east channel, making their way down from where we've seen the other day, near Droitwich, straight down through Worcester, down into Gloucester that way, avoiding this very tricksy west channel because of that weir. But that was put in so that boats that were entering the canal over could get round that weir here on the River Severn. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's little explore back on the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal. I will bring you further updates as things progress. We'll have a keeping tabs on what's happening at Malswick and the other places that have been restored along the section there. They have a brilliant website. I'll put the link in for the Herefordshire and Gloucestershire Canal Trust in the description of the video below. Until next time on West Country Wanderings. Oh, don't forget the Facebook group as well. If you go onto Facebook, if you're on Facebook, that is, of course, just put in West Country Wanderings and you'll find me on there. There's a group set up there. If you just request to join, I'll come along and invite you into the group, and there you can share your own videos and photographs of places around the West Country area that you've taken yourself, and perhaps you wanted to share with you some places with other people that are also members of the group than people that watch my channel. Anyway, next time, take care. and I hope to see you soon. All the best for now. Cheers. Goodbye.